Hi beautiful people, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Victoria. In today's tutorial, I'll be looking at how to cut and sew this beautiful Ankara playsuit you are seeing, or you can still call it a short jumpsuit. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please kindly subscribe and turn on your notification bell as you're about to start. If this is your first time seeing this channel, thanks for stopping by, and to my returning subscribers, thanks for always watching. So we'll start. We're making use of this Ankara fabric. We'll be using like 3 yards from it. So firstly, we are going to rule a margin to start as our starting point for the upper bodice, which is a half cut, you get. So I've ruled the margin is now serving as our shoulder line. So firstly, I'm cutting the back. So from our shoulder to bust point is 10, shoulder to waist is 16. So from that 16, I'll be adding 1 inch for joining and everything. So anything I mark at this side, I'll be marking it at the other side. So this is it. So after marking it, I'm gonna head to rule a straight line, just as you can see. So next thing we're going to be working with the neckline. The neckline I'm doing here is 3 by 3. There is 3 for the width and then 3 for the length. After doing that, I'll carry my curve and connect it. So now after that, we're going to be putting our bust measurement. The bust I'm working with is 36. 36 divided by 4 is 9 inches. So this is our 9 inches plus our 2 inch for ease and allowance. I said ease and allowance, so put our 2 inches. Then we'll go to the waist. The waist I'm working with is 28. 28 divided by 4 is 7. Put our 7. So for the waist part, we'll be putting 3 inches for the ease. We'll not be making use of 2. So after that, we're going to be connecting the line together. That's from the waist to the bust point, just as you can see. So now next thing we'll be doing is we are going to be determining how the sleeve will look like. So from that upper part, I'll be coming down by 9.5 inches. Then I'll mark it there. So after that, I'll just curve it from the bust point, curve it down to meet it there. So now we'll be putting our shoulder slope. Since we are not using our regular shoulder, we'll go to that extreme where we stop at that side. We just come down by 1 and then use our straight rule to connect it. So after connecting it, this is what we have. Sorry, before cutting it, I want to say something. What I use for the sleeve is after marking my shoulder is 7.5. What I did was I went out by 9 inches. Can you see? That is 9 inches that I used there. So it is from there that I use in determining the length of the sleeve. So now we can cut. So guys, after cutting, we just place it on a new Ankara like this, just as you can see, on a new print, just like this. So I make sure I leave 1.5 inch space from the other end, so that is where I'll be putting the button, just as you can see from the video. So now after placing it there, I make sure I mark the 1.5 properly, very well. Then after that, I'll just go ahead to use my pin to secure the whole part. Then we can go ahead and determine the neckline for the front. So for the front, I'll come down by 4 inches from the usual neckline we had from the back. So I'm just going to mark it so that when I'm done cutting it, I'll cut the neckline separate. So now we'll just go ahead to cut, just as you can see. I make sure I trace it properly. Can you see? So that is what I'm doing now. So guys, after cutting it, I'll go ahead and unpin it, remove all the pins that I used to secure the back and the front together. Then I'll keep the back one place, then back to our front neckline. You see the place I marked here, I'm going to connect it with a V shape. So this is what I'm doing. So this is a V shape. So after connecting it, I'll cut it out, just as you can see me doing like this. So now after cutting, I'll just go ahead to use my scissors to slash that side open, so that we can have 2 pieces for the front. And that is all for the upper part of this tutorial. Now we'll be going to the down parts. Now for the down part, this is what we have. So for you to cut this, you are going to divide your hip measurement by 4, then you add extra 5 inches for the wideness and everything for the front. So after that, we just go ahead to rule a margin on the upper part there to serve as our starting point. So now what we'll be doing taking our waist to hip measurement. So the waist to hip I'm working with is 11 inches. This is a jumpsuit, is long. Then waist to crotch is 13.5. So anything I have here, I'll do it to this other side, then I'll connect it together. So now after connecting, next thing we'll be doing, I also connect the crotch line. So next thing we'll be doing, we're going to drag our fabric up, then we'll measure the length of the pants. The length of the pants, the whole thing is 36 inches. That's the length of the jumpsuit. So the waist, the upper part is 16. So what is left is 22. So I measure from the waist to 22. That is the 22 showing there. Sorry, it's not really showing, but I believe you understand what I'm doing. So I make sure I mark the 22 on both sides. So after marking the 22, I'll add extra 2 inches for folding of the leg, just as you can see. So I'll just go ahead to connect the lines together. So the first one down is for the main length, and then the second one is serving as the allowance length, just to differentiate it. So now we are going to be working with the crotch and the hip. So on the hip line, which is where I just touched, I'll be putting my hip measurement. The hip I'm working with is 38. 38 divided by 4 is 9.5. So anything I have on the hip, I'll put it on the crotch, just as you can see. Then we'll be adding 3 inches. That 3 inches we added for the waist of the upper part. While doing it, we'll be adding that 3 inches here. So add both on the hip and on the crotch, then we connect it together. Can you see? So now after that, we just carry our straight through to continue with that straight line up. So now after that, we are going to do our crotch extension. So for the front is, you are going to divide your hip measurement by 20. So when I divided mine by 20, I have 2 inches. So from that 2 inches, I would use my little French curve to mark the curve, just as you can see me doing like this. Can you see? So now after marking the curve, from that line where I'm touching, that is where we'll be marking our waist measurement from. So the waist I'm working with is 28. 28 divided by 4 is 7. So plus that 3 inches, as I said, we are adding the 3 inches. The 3 inches is inclusive of our allowance and everything. So from that side, you are going to connect it down to the hip line. That's on the waist down to the hip line with this curve, just as you can see. So now next thing we'll be doing is, we are going to measure what we have on the crotch line, both the crotch and the crotch extension together. So after measuring it, I think we have 15 inches. So we are going to divide 15 inches by 2. When you divide 15 inches by 2, we have 7.5. So we are going to mark the midpoint. That's 7.5. Then we are still going to mark it down at the length of the pants. Then we'll connect it together in order for us to know where to take the round leg of the pants from. So now for the length of the pants, as the round, now I'll be making use of 13 inches. So for me to put that 13 inches, I'll divide 13 inches by 2, then put the midpoint of 13 at the middle of that line we drew. So I mark it at this edge, I mark it at this edge. Sorry, that 13 inches I said is 26 divided by 2. You get? So that was what gave me the 13 inches. You get? So after that, I'll just connect the points that we have together, and that is all for the front drafting. Can you see? So it is very, very easy. So after that, we just go ahead to use our scissors, and then we're going to cut it out, just as you can see. So now guys, after cutting it, this is what we have. Can you see? Everything is looking fine. Now we'll move to the back. When we cut the front, I say you are going to rule a line just up for to start serve as our margin and serve as the waistline. But for the back, you're just going to come down by 2 inches in order for it to serve as your waistline. Then you are going to start your marking from there. So now what we'll be doing is, we are going to be putting our waist to hip. So the waist to hip we are working with is 11 inches. So this is our 11 inches. So waist to crotch is 13.5, and then waist to the length of the pants is 22. Then plus our 2 inches allowance. So anything I have here, I'll be marking it on the other side. So after that, I've gone ahead to connect it. This is the waistline, hip, crotch, and then the length of the pant. So let me turn it very well so that we can see it. Now we're putting our our hip measurement. So the hip is what, 9.5, which is 38 divided by 4. Anything I have on the hip, I'll be putting it on the crotch. So after that, I'll be extending it with the 3 inches we have been using earlier. Can you see? Yes. So after that, then we'll measure the crotch line, just as you can see. So anything I have there, I'll place it on the waist. After placing it, then I'll go in by 1.5 in order to give it that slanting effect. You know, the back is not straight, so that's why we are doing that. So after that, we'll just connect the line from the hip down to the waistline. So it is from that side we'll be taking our appropriate waist measurement from. Can you see? So now guys, after doing that, on our crotch line, we're going to be putting our crotch extension. So for the back, you're going to be dividing your hip measurement by 10. So when I divided mine, I have 4 inches. So I'll mark the 4 inches on that crotch line. Then I'll go ahead to use my hand to connect it. I'll draw a very nice curve, very well. So now, after doing that, we'll go ahead to put our waist measurement. Waist I'm working with, you know, is 7 inches. So that is my 7 inches plus our normal 3 inches that we have been adding since. So that is the 3 inches I just added. So from there, I'll be connecting from that waistline. So before connecting, on that part, I'll be going up by 1.5 in order for it to cover the buttons very well. So from that side, I'll just connect the line straight to the length of the waist where we just drew. So now from that side, I'll just connect it down to the hip line, just as you can see, just connecting it down to the hip line. So guys, after doing that, we're going to measure what we have on the crotch together with the crotch extension, just as we did for the front. So anything we have, I think we have 16 or 16.5. Anything we have, we are going to be dividing it by 2 inches to find the midpoint, just as we did for the front. So after finding the midpoint, I'm going to just go ahead and connect it down to the length of the pants. So after doing that, on the length of the pants, I'll be putting the new measurement, then just as we did for the front, everything. So after putting the new measurement, I'll just go ahead to carry my straight rule and connect, just as you can see. So I'll connect from this side of the hip down to the length of the pants. Then I'll connect from this crotch extension down to the length of the pants, and that is basically all for the back. So we'll go ahead to cut. So can you see, everything is so simple and easy. And remember I told you we added that 1.5 on the waistline in order for it to cover the buttons properly. So we'll go to this side and then cut it out properly. So guys, after cutting it, this is what we have. So we're going with the sewing parts now. This is the back and this is the front. Firstly, we'll be joining the shoulders together. So we join the shoulder and then we join the other shoulders together using our 1/2 inch, just as you can see. So after joining the shoulders, this is what we have. Next thing is you are going to be piping the neckline. Can you see? So after joining the shoulders, this is what we have. Look at the inside. I use a 0.5 that I said. So now we'll be piping the neckline using this little piece that I cut. So we'll be using it from one end of that V neckline down to the back. So guys, after piping the neckline, this is what we have. I've also gone ahead to fold the front part so that we'll be able to fit our button. So now we have cut this little piece. It is at least 36 inches. So I'm going to pleat it on top of the sleeve. Can you see? I'll pleat and sew, pleat and sew, pleat and sew till I get to the end of the sleeve. So I'm going to pleat it on my sewing machine. Anything I do to this hand, I'll also do to the second hand. So guys, after pleating it, this is what we have. So can you see? This is what we have. So now we are going to be keeping the front piece aside. Then I'll be making use of the back. We'll be working with the back piece. So now this is the back, this is the front, and this is the back. So we'll be doing the sewing that part with 1/2 inch. After sewing it with 1/2 inch, this is what we have. So can you see, this is what we have. This is the front and then this is the back. So now I've cut this little piece that I'll be using as a pocket. You know how to fit your normal pocket now, so I'll carry the piece that is appropriate for each side, then I'll make sure I place it. So before doing that, I'll come down by 1 inch, then I'll carry the pocket that is appropriate for that side of the pocket, for that side, and then I'll place it. Just as you can see, this is me trying to place it very well. So I'll place it and I'll sew it down with half of an inch, then I'll do it to all the sides. So guys, after doing that, this is what we have. Can you see, I've gone ahead to do that. So now I'll be placing the back and the front together in order for me to sew the pockets properly. So this is the back and the front. I've placed them together. Now on the pocket side, I make sure I hold it down very well. Then I'll go to the sewing machine and run a stitch of half of an inch all around, just as you can see. So anything I do to this pocket, I will definitely do it to the other pocket. So when I'm done, I'll bring it. So guys, this is what we have now. We are going to be removing. I have one excess thread, so I'll just cut it off. So now we are going to be joining our front and our back together, our up and our down together. Sorry, that is the top side and the down together. So firstly, I'll carry the back of the up and the down. So after joining it, this is what I have. Can you see? This is what I have. That is the back of the pant and then the back of the main shirt. So I've joined it together. Next, we'll be joining the front as well, just as you can see. So I'll go ahead to join the shirt part together. That's the part that has the button. I'll go ahead to join it together. Then I will carry my pin to pin it down, so that when I pin it down, I'm going to go to the sewing machine and stitch that part to keep it in place before joining it to the down part of the pants, which is for the front. So I'm going to join it. So guys, this is how it's going to look like. So now after joining it, this is what we have. So now what we'll be doing is we're going to come down to the down of the pant, and then we're going to join the laps together, one lap down, the other lap down. So this is me trying to place it properly. So I'll be joining it down with half of an inch and the other side with half of an inch. So when I'm done, I'll bring it. So guys, after doing that, this is what we have. So now we'll be joining the side of the clothes together. So I'll make sure I pin it and arrange the clothes properly. Then I'll be using 1 inch in sewing it, just as you can see me doing like this. So I'll mark my 1 inch all the way down to the hem of the clothes that we have. So then I'll go to the sewing machine and sew it. So this is the 1 inch that I'm trying to mark. So sorry, on the pocket side, I did mistake and mark it on that side. You know, you cannot sew that pocket side again, because you're going to leave that side. You sew and stop at where the pocket is and then continue, because the pocket will be open there. So now this is what we have after sewing that. Can you see? After sewing the side, this is what we have. So next thing we'll be doing is we are going to fold this little piece that I have cut in order for us to create a channel where we'll be using the rope to pass. So we're going to place it to one side of the front, just as you can see where I'm placing it. Then I'll place it very well. I'm also gonna have to iron it, so I'm going to sew it all around. Can you see? I'll sew it all around. Then after that, I'll go to the down of the cloth and then fold the leg. So guys, after doing that, this is what we have. I've put the button, fold the down of the dress, and then I'll also create the channel. Now this is me trying to use the rope to pass through the channel. This is a normal way to pass your rope through the channel. This is what I did. So guys, after doing that, the rope is out, and then this is it. This is the final look. I hope this tutorial was helpful. If you have any question, you can drop it in the comment section. If you don't have any question, anything that you see about this video, you can drop it. Bye, and see you guys in my next tutorial. Bye.